Hey 49ers fans, I'm Thomas Mott. Welcome into Chat Sports, and today we are literally like 2 hours after the cut, depending on when I'm recording this. Yeah, like the official cuts have happened. The 53-man roster is finally official. It's here, and we're going to dive right into exactly who got cut, who made the cut, and who is going to be obviously a part of the 2019 San Francisco 49ers. Before we jump in, though, quickly, if you have not already subscribed to our 49ers Only Chat Sports YouTube page, you might be watching it on that page, so go ahead and subscribe here. Greatly appreciate it. Or if you're watching on our Chat Sports page, then go to www.chatsports.com/49ers, and then you guys will be able to subscribe there to our 49ers Only YouTube channel. Be sure to subscribe. Plenty of great content coming up there. So, one more time, go ahead and subscribe. All right, let's start with the two biggest cuts, the ones that have surprised me the most. And obviously, number one, Jordan Matthews, the wide receiver. Guys, I gotta call myself out here. I've been saying for weeks that Jordan Matthews is going to make this team. Now, I'm not alone. Look up almost any 49ers beat writer, reporter, whatever, all the guys there at training camp, many of them said many times that he was going to make this team. It made a lot of sense. He's a proven veteran, had an okay preseason, but apparently had a really good training camp. So I'm shocked that he is actually not going to be a part of this team, and that does mean, as we'll see later, Kendrick Bourne does make the squad. That was essentially the battle there. They like Bourne more than they like Jordan Matthews, and here we are with Jordan Matthews not making the team. The other player that I'm surprised did not make the team is Elijah Lee. They actually did some interesting stuff with the linebacker position. We'll look at that a little bit later, but Lee was someone we expected to essentially be the backup Sam linebacker, especially after Dre Greenlaw is going to be the starting Sam linebacker after cutting Malcolm Smith. So, of course, Malcolm Smith was cut a little bit later or earlier on in the preseason, I guess a couple days ago. That means Greenlaw is going to be the starter at Sam. I thought Elijah Lee had a good enough preseason and training camp to be the backup. Not the case. He has been let go as well. Listen, that means they trust Greenlaw a lot. They must think that Greenlaw, and I'm not saying he's not, because I think he's played very, very well, but to let go of Malcolm Smith, who had a fine training camp, and to also let go of Elijah Lee shows their belief in Dre Greenlaw and the fact that he is going to be the starter there at the Sam linebacker. Those are your two biggest cuts here. Moving along, how about the notable cuts? So again, Matthews and Elijah Lee are there. How about Josh Garnett getting let go as well, the former 2016 first-round pick, battled injuries basically his entire career, and only played in this fourth preseason game and came out at the end of the first half. So, it's not a surprise, but it's also, wow, a 2016 first-round draft pick no longer with the team. Thought he could potentially be a swing tackle. Not the case. They are not going to have Josh Garnett on the squad. Adrian Colbert, the defensive back, we talked about a lot on this show. Many people said he was not going to make it, and here we are. He was not able to make it. Bad ejection earlier on, getting fined for a bad, helmet-to-helmet hit early on in the preseason. And then this past game, basically didn't play in the first half except for one play, and the start of the third quarter he had to come out with a hamstring injury, so that makes a lot of sense. And Demontre Morris, I think I said that Demontre Morris would make the squad on the defensive line. I thought he would. 13 tackles, 2 sacks in the preseason, but at the same time, it's a loaded defensive line group, so someone's got to go. Demontre Morris is someone that I really think is gonna make a squad potentially somewhere else. I'd probably throw Jordan Matthews and Elijah Lee in that list as well. Which of these cuts surprised you guys the most? Out of the 5 here that you see on your screen, is it Matthews, is it Lee, is it Colbert, is it Moore? Which of these guys surprised you the most? Let me know in the comments down below. We'll go ahead and throw them up and kind of work our way through them. These are kind of the other, excuse me, and the other guys that did not make the squads. Again, you see them going through your guys' list right now. A lot of them, we expected. Chris Campbell wasn't going to make it. Someone like I said, Josh Garnett, not going to make it. Kevin Givens, and a just jam-packed defensive line. He was obviously not going to make it. Some of the ones that are also a little bit surprising, like the linebacker David Mayo, another linebacker we talked about a lot, said he had a really good preseason, but obviously not able to make it, and Leroy Reynolds, another linebacker who was cut as well. Wilton Spate did not make the list. That's not a surprise at all. You could potentially bring him back to be a practice squad guy a little bit later. I think Sunday they finalized their 10-player practice squad. Wilton Spate potentially, but he did not make it. Wide receiver Chris Thompson also did not make the cut. And finally, finally, the running back. How about Jeff Wilson Jr., who had an excellent fourth preseason game, 20 carries for 100 yards. He did not make it as well. What they're going to do at the running back position is very, very interesting overall, as we're going to dive into that here in just a second. Your IR players, Jerick McKinnon officially put on season-ending IR. We will not see him in a Niner uniform this year. Nick Williams, Coleman, and Tim Harris, the cornerback, are not going to be basically playing. They're on IR right now for the remainder of the year. Right now, the only pup-less player is the tight end Garrett Selleck. Tight end position, very interesting. We're going to get into that in a second. And then, of course, the long snapper Kyle Nelson is suspended to start the season. There are all your cuts. That's what we have right now in terms of who all was let go. Again, I'm pretty sure I got them all. Again, there's a lot to go through online and figure out who it all is. Here is now the official 53-man depth chart here for the San Francisco 49ers as we dive right into this. And quickly, let me just point it out. It's cut day, so I wore the cutoff sleeves just for cut day. Just to let you guys know. In case you're wondering, normally I get that, the collar shirt sleeves on. It's cut day today. Cut the sleeves off. That's why we're going with this. All right, moving on. Your depth chart. How about this? We mentioned this could be a possibility. 3 quarterbacks, Garoppolo, Mullins, and Beathard all make the squad. I think C.J. Beathard played well enough in the 4th preseason game to make the squad. He's shown in the past that he can be a starter. Whether that means he wins or not is up to you guys, up to the wrong, whatever. Doesn't win a lot, but he is going to make the squad and will be the 3rd quarterback. Again, there's someone who comments every single time I mention Jimmy Garoppolo getting injured saying that I want Garoppolo to get injured. The answer is obviously no. He needs to have a big year. I think that at the same time, Beathard is probably some insurance just in case Garoppolo is unable to stay healthy through the entire season because he's never played in more than 6 games in a single season. I don't want to be injured. Stop commenting that. I just want to make sure we're backed up, and that's what we have right now with C.J. Beathard. How about the running back spot? Only going to carry 3. Tevin Coleman, Matt Breida, and Raheem Mostert. There is going to be no 4th running back on the squad right now, which... okay, it's interesting. I mean, you got a lot of trust in Coleman and Breida, I think. I mean, you would love to have McKinnon in there. Obviously, he's going to be injured, but Coleman and Breida are now the feature backs. Fantasy tip, randomly, really quickly, take Tevin Coleman in your fantasy leagues. I took him in my draft today because, again, no Jerick McKinnon. Mostert's not going to play a lot. It's Coleman, it's Breida, but Coleman will be the workhorse back here. I would draft him, a great flex, a great running back 3. Throw him on your squad. Of course, Kyle Juszczyk is a fullback, technically a running back, however they want to say it, but he's the other fullback there, or the other running back on the squad. Wide receiver, I mentioned, biggest battle going into camp was going to be the wide receiver spot. They keep 7. Dante Pettis, Marquise Goodwin, Trent Taylor, Richie James, Deebo Samuel, Jalen Hurd, and there he is, Kendrick Bourne makes the squad as well after an up-and-down preseason, up-and-down training camp. Richie James makes it as well. I think he led the team with 12 receptions in the preseason, so there you go. Those are the weapons that are going to be used by Jimmy Garoppolo throughout the season. What do you guys think of those? Again, I really thought that Jordan Matthews was going to make it, but this is probably what we expected. Pettis, Goodwin, Samuel, Hurd, Bourne, Taylor, and Richie James are going to be the 7 wide receivers on the squad. Tight ends. How about them keeping 4 tight ends? And besides the fact that Garrett Suggs on the PUP list, George Kittle, obviously, they're going to keep Dwelly, they're going to keep Caden Smith, and they're also going to keep Levine Toilolo as well, which is, many people thought, bring him over from Atlanta, who of course was with Kyle Shanahan, but potentially you're only going to keep 2 tight ends, so you let him go. 4 tight ends is a lot. Expect a lot of 2 tight end looks here in this offense as they try to run the football and establish the run with Tevin Coleman. Offensive linemen, again, Josh Garrett, the only one that is kind of a surprise cut. Here are your 8 offensive linemen. You don't even have to read them off. These are pretty much the guys you guys expected to be there. Staley, McGlinchey, Person, Rickberg, Garland, Lakin Thompson. School did make it, and Brunskill made it as well. Those are your 8. Defensive linemen. This is the most talented group on the entire roster. Not a lot of surprise here. Buckner, Ford, Bosa, Armstead, Thomas, Sheldon Day, DJ Jones, Ronald Baird, Julian Taylor, and Condavious Street. Street actually made the roster as well as we expected him to, being that he is a young guy. But those are your 10 that's going to happen right now. And again, no DeMontre Moore, as you would like to have him because he played well in the preseason, but you go, well, which one of these guys you want to swap him out for? And then you read it, and it's like, well, probably not going to happen there. Your linebackers. Interesting. It's going to be Warner, Alexander, and Greenlaw, and they keep the rookie Aziz we talked about earlier on, who was having a good preseason, and then one more as well, as again you see on your screen. Again, Warner, Alexander, and Greenlaw are going to be your starters at the Mike, the Will, and the Sam. It's a great linebacker group. Not a lot of depth behind it, but I think they really like Azeez Al-Shire as the backup there. Liked him more than Elijah Lee and Mayo as well. So we'll see. Again, the front seven of this defense is stacked. I think the cuts show that and make it the case that there are probably some good football players who might be able to make other teams, but could not make the 49ers because they were that stacked. Defensive backs, are we surprised here either? I think we've known this for a while. DJ Reed, Tart, Ward, Moore, Sherman, Witherspoon, Verrett, Williams, and Emmanuel Mosley are going to be your 9 defensive backs there. Again, not a ton of depth, but also it's better than what we saw last year, so we're going to roll with 9 right now. And then your 3 specialists, potentially 2 of the best kicker tandems in the entire NFL, with the place kicker and field goal kicker Robbie Gould, and the punter / rookie Mitch Wisnowski, who we've talked about many, many times in this show as being an absolute hit so far in preseason. He's been pinning guys deep. He has been hitting long punts, high punts, whatever. He has been really, really good. And like we said earlier, Robbie Gould, take him in fantasy because many people won't take him, but his accuracy is ridiculous, and he's been one of the best kickers for the past couple of years. Glad to have him on our squad. There we go. We ran through it all. I mean, not a lot of surprises, a lot of stuff as I look back through it that makes a lot of sense. Jordan Matthews, again, I don't know if it's because I just like the fact he was going to play in the slot and be a veteran. It's not a big deal. Bourne's our guy. Bourne led the team in receptions last year. He's going to stay. Elijah Lee just tells me that Greenlaw is better than people expected, or as good as people expected, depending on, they drafted him. So we shall see, but overall, this makes a lot of sense. I don't know who the 10 are going to be. They're going to bring back to the practice squad. I think they got to finalize that Sunday, depending on when you guys watch this video. They'll let us know, and they'll bring the 10 back, and you can add from other practice squads. So still some, very bottom of the barrel people to go ahead and bring on to practice squad, but that'll be happening here in the next couple of days, depending on when you're watching this video or what have already happened. So go ahead, let's go ahead and grade the 53-man roster. Let me know what you guys think about the overall roster. Again, are there any surprises on here? Are there any ones you don't think should be on here? And then go ahead and give me a grade, a letter grade, A through F, A+, B+, C+, C-, whatever you guys think here. I think we're looking at probably a B- overall roster. Again, there are holes, and we know that here with the 49ers roster, but there are also people in the national media who are picking us to have 9 wins. So it's going to be interesting. I like what they finally narrowed it down to, and now it's just a matter of waiting until we go on the road to take on Tampa Bay, literally, depending on when you watch this video, 8 days from now, and hopefully we're able to get a big win there against a Bucs squad that is rebuilding, bad on defense, and has Jameis Winston as a quarterback. So we'll see. Again, let me quickly throw this in at the end. 49ers mailbag coming up next week. Use the hashtag 49ers with your question. I'll answer it. And of course, be sure to subscribe to our 49ers Only Chat Sports page. 100 subscribers away. Go subscribe, please. Let me just do it right now. It'd help me out a lot. I would appreciate it. And then, of course, plenty of great content coming up here in the future. There we go. There's your 53-man roster. For Chat Sports, I'm Thomas Mott, signing off. Enjoy the rest of your day.